Hello everyone, my name is Jihan Abdurrahman from Grand Canyon University. I do my master in biology and physiology, and professor which observed my presentation is Professor John Wall. In this presentation, I'm talking about insulin and glucagon. First of all, in this slide, we need to talk about the endocrine system as a general. So endocrine system is a group of organs that work together to perform a specific function, and the function is maintain the hormones or maintain the balance inside our body. Um, in endocrine system, the hormones release directly to the bloodstream. So we don't have any tube or duct for this hormone. It's directly released to the bloodstream into the target cell. There are many vocabulary in this presentation, like glucose, insulin, glucagon, glycogen, and pancreas. Glucose, as all of us we know, it's the sugar that travel through the blood to fuel our body with energy. But insulin, this is a kind of hormone that lower the glucose level in blood. Glycogen it is the substance that made from glucose. So it's a complex form of glucose, and we can find it more abundant in the liver and muscle cells. Glucagon, this is the hormone that tells the cell in your liver and muscle to convert the glycogen, which is the complex form of glucose, into a simple form of sugar, which is glucose. But the last but not least, the pancreas, this is the organ in your abdomen that release insulin and glucagon. So it's released both hormones, insulin and glucagon. My objectives in this presentation, first, I would like to talk about the endocrine system as a general, insulin and glucagon specific, and the mechanism of action of each of them. And the last one is the glucose disorder. What's happened when glucose lower in the blood or raise in the blood? What's happened? So first of all, endocrine system, it's as we said, it's a network of glands that release hormone directly to the bloodstream. Here, in this picture, we have many organs in the endocrine system. We start with the head. We have pineal gland and we have hypothalamus, pituitary gland. Pituitary gland considered as a master gland, and in the next slide, I'm talking about it in more details. Thyroid gland and parathyroid gland. This is the second gland in the neck. We have a thymus gland and pancreas, and this is our concern today is a pancreas because it released the glucagon and insulin. Adrenal gland, which release the adrenaline, nephrin, epinephrine. And the last one is testes and ovary. Testes in male, of course, and ovaries in females, which produce testosterone and estrogen. For the master gland, pituitary gland is considered as a master gland. Why we consider it as a master gland? Because it's located in a very sensitive part in our body, which is in the base, at the base of the brain, and they play a crucial role in the endocrine system. The pituitary gland produces hormones that regulate the function of other endocrine glands. But the pituitary gland work under supervision of hypothalamus and thalamus gland. As you see here, the pituitary gland has two loops, the anterior and posterior loop. The anterior loop just release six hormone, and posterior loop produce two hormone, oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. So here in the pancreas, as I told you, the pancreas is the major organ that we have today. It's a powerhouse of blood sugar control. Pancreas has a specific function because it's work as endocrine gland and exocrine gland at the same time. So it has a dual function in your abdomen. If it's work as exocrine gland, so we have duct over here. This duct produce or release the digestive enzyme directly into the small intestine. So at this time, we have a duct that produces the pancreatic juice to the small intestine. But if we talk about the pancreas as a ductless or endocrine function, so it's produced two main hormones like insulin and glucagon. The pancreas is our main focus because it's produce these hormone, which is insulin and glucagon, and they play a critical role in regulating blood glucose or sugar level. How it work? How this work by using the insulin and the glucagon. And this is the second objective that we need to achieve today. Both hormones come from our pancreas, insulin or glucagon, because we have alpha cell and beta cell in our pancreas. They produced from islet of Langerhans in here in the pancreas. So we have a beta cell. This beta cell release insulin, and this insulin make the blood glucose level decrease. But islet of Langerhans also produce another hormone. The alpha cell is a part of islet of Langerhans, which represent a green color, and this is release the opposite hormone to insulin, which is glucagon. And the glucagon increase the blood glucose level. But how this work? How insulin work and how glucagon work? Insulin work during digestion. Our food, of course, convert into glucose, which is raise blood glucose level. So what's happened? The insulin released from the pancreas and start to lower glucose level, and the one which is responsible for that is a beta cell. But in glucagon, it's produced by alpha cell. So which has happened that when the blood glucose decrease due to stay for a long time for 6 or maybe 8 hours without any food. So what's happened? The glucose level become lower or drop below the normal range. So the pancreas send and send signal to the liver and stimulate it by sending alarm or a message to the liver and the muscle. Why? To break down the glycogen that is stored in this organ and convert it into glucose so the body can use and it increase the blood glucose. So glucagon is a hormone that's produced by pancreatic alpha cell, and the main function is raise the glucose level. Here we describe this point. And this in this drawing, we just say how homeostasis work in a negative feedback when the glucose level high in our blood. So the insulin released from pancreas, so it's reached to the normal by convert this extra glucose into glycogen in the liver and muscle cell. But when your blood glucose is lower, so the glycogen released from the liver and the muscle, of course, the glucagon is the hormone which converts this glycogen into glucose and make your blood glucose level normal. The last point that we need to talk about it is the glucose disorder. What's happened when the glucose level change in our body? This is called the disease, the common or chronic condition is called diabetic mellitus. The diabetic mellitus, we have two main kinds of diabetic mellitus, diabetes 1 and diabetes 2. It just, when the person have a diabetic or diabetes, when the person is diabetic or has uh, diabetes, so what's happened? Your body use insulin and glucagon are off. So we cannot control the usage of glucose or even glucagon. How can we detect that? We can detect that by glucose meter, which is the device that detects the rate of glucose inside our blood. We have two main kinds of diabetes, diabetes 1, which is less common, and diabetes 2, which is more common in the age people. In diabetes 1, it's an autoimmune disorder. So our body immune system is attack the cell of pancreas, which make the insulin in the organ of pancreas doesn't doesn't work. So in your type 1 diabetes, your pancreas doesn't produce insulin enough or cannot produce enough insulin, so the glucose level become high. But in diabetes 2, your body make insulin, but this insulin don't respond to it the way they should. So this is called insulin resistance. So your cells are not able to take a glucose from the bloodstream as well as they once did, which lead to the high blood glucose level. In diabetes 2, we can um, use some of the tablets or regular medication to manage this diabetes. But in diabetes 1, we have to take insulin daily to keep our blood glucose level in a normal rate. Thank you so much for your watch. And these are the resources that I use in this presentation. Thank you for your time and appreciate your